Our concern is with the lack of feminine energy you're not bringing to the relationship. It would seem, gentlemen, that the male feminists are finally getting found out. Their long-term game of pandering to the opposite sex, appeasing them through their social political correctness, has about as much polarity as a dead battery nowadays. And women are finding this out to their detriment. I think this is where, as a preface to the video, it's very important for me to quote David D'Angelo here. Attraction isn't a choice. I'll expand upon that momentarily. But first, as always, context, gentlemen. I have here a interesting Reddit post shared by Krieger David here, Better Every Day, about a particular challenge one of these quote-unquote feminists, female feminists, is having in respects to her male feminist friend or potential partner, or lack of potential, I should say. So, Costa Lash, I think the men I date are too feminist, aka I'm not sure what I want. No, I don't suppose you do know what you want, do you? This applies to heterosexual relationships. I'm not speaking for every gender or sexual orientation or any identifications. I'm in my mid-20s. This is a general observation, but I'll use the guy I'm currently dating as an example. He is a super feminist. Quick sidebar here, guys. Super feminist is nothing to aspire to be. He's all about equality. He's quite political, etc., which is great and fine. I'm obviously all for being treated equal, and all of that goes without saying, naturally. However, I'm not sure if this is the reason I'm feeling absolutely no spice to this relationship whatsoever. It all feels so completely neutral. Neutral is a key indicator in what the diagnosis of the problem is right here, gentlemen, and ladies watching this as well. Not necessarily him, but our relationship interactions and how he treats me. He respects me, yes, but treats me like we're the same gender. It's hard to explain. It's difficult to divulge. Almost like one of his buddies or something. In all these men similar, it's been kind of the same. The older I get, the less I want to be treated like your partner. I want to be treated like a woman. This is where you grow past the facade of the social narrative, my friend. This is probably controversial on here and will probably get downvoted, but it's just the way I'm feeling. By the way, controversial, gentlemen, in your lexicon is very synonymous now with traditional. So if you want to be called controversial, traditional is another synonym that you can use interchangeably nowadays. It's becoming more controversial to raise your kids at home. No, it's traditional. I've spent half my life choking down my feelings of being feminine. This is quite heartbreaking, gentlemen, because I'm sure you've ascertained the direction that I'm moving in already. I've spent half my life choking down my feelings of being feminine, so to speak, because feeling super feminine felt wrong to me, as though I shouldn't feel that way and shouldn't want to be treated in any sort of manner related to that of being feminine. These women are suppressing their own energy, their own emotional way they interact and intertwine with the world and the realm around them because of this befuddling narrative. But then, misogyny in relationships is obviously bad and only hurtful. I agree, when it exists. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like I'm doing it all wrong. Now, before I get into the initial premise of this video, which is in essence the key to attraction is going to be polarity, I really want you to be astute to the emotional terminology this individual is using to explain her particular predicament. If you are fastidious enough to recognize it, then you'll realize she's not trying to rationalize the way that she's thinking. She's just being emotive here. She's feeling her way through this problem. She's not trying to logically or logistically rationalize it. And that's very, very important because, as we all know, women are relate to the emotions in a more deep and intimate way than men typically, by and large. She's noting the absence of a feeling of attraction. Let me just say that one more time. She's noticing an absence of feeling attraction, not rationalizing attraction. You can talk to every woman and her mother and she'll tell you her ideal partner has to meet some particular prerequisites, but the feeling doesn't really care, doesn't really matter about the prerequisites that you have. We're finding out more and more now that liberal women, in this case, are being drawn more and more to conservative men. Why? Because of feeling, not a rationalization. This is why I preface this by quoting David D'Angelo. Attraction isn't a rationalization, it's a feeling. Men have their preferences, women have their preferences. Men watching this video, I know you have somewhat of a laundry list in respects to what physical attributes you would like in your future partner, but how many of them did meet that laundry list? It was more of an emotive feeling. It was more of a connection that enabled you to start to build the foundation and the road, as it were, towards your relationship. There are various many ways that an individual can demonstrate value and therefore create attraction in the other person. One of them is the visual elements that you would like to see in your partner. But attraction, when you actually look back at your previous experiences of individuals that you've been attracted to, you recognize that it's more of an emotional and an energetic demonstration of value that actually lays the groundwork for your future relationship. I can't tell you the amount of times I've breezed past a woman's laundry list of expectations in her future partner because I've been able to demonstrate value on an emotive and energetic sense through charisma, through social skills, through, again, that demonstration of value of perhaps humor. And one of the most powerful ways that you can demonstrate value in an emotive and energetic sense is by being polarizing. Trouble is nowadays is men just aren't polarizing anymore. If there's no polarity, there's no attraction. So those unacquainted with dualism, which lays the very fabric of the reality that we have it in now, dualism, another word for polarity, masculine and feminine energies encompass distinct qualities and traits commonly linked to the concepts of masculinity and femininity, of course. They are frequently regarded as complementary forces that can manifest within individuals' relationships and broader societal dynamics. Now, what do you think about when you hear the term masculine energy? A lot of individuals, especially if you're on the left, conflate it with this idea of misogyny and toxicity. But again, these are conflated ideals. Masculinity is associated with assertiveness, fortitude, ambition, and autonomy. It is marked by qualities like rationalization and logically driven behavior, action taking, and a keen attention to goal-seeking and goal-fulfilling behavior. The individuals that are typically characterized as being in their masculine energies will have a propensity towards directness and also outward expressiveness. Conversely, feminine energy is the polar opposite of that. It's linked with attributes like nurturance, intuition, empathy, and emotional sensitivity. Its real distinguishing from the masculine is in its receptivity, compassion, and also focusing on social connections, families, and relationships. One of the real potent aspects of feminine energies is its kinship to intuition, awareness, and almost this attunement to the emotional sensitivity of other people and feeling what they're feeling in that way. So what's, again, immediately conflated by, the left especially, is that masculine energy is somehow superior or misogynistic, and feminine energy is not seen in any kind of value. They're different characteristics, and they both have their strengths and they both have their propensities to get toxic and weak on both sides. So it's important for me to ground this framework in some key facts. Masculine energy is no more valuable than feminine energy. Feminine energy is no more valuable than masculine energy. This is fundamentally what the feminists fail to understand. Men are not afraid of strong-willed women. Our concern is with the lack of feminine energy you're not bringing to the relationship. It is not a stretch of the imagination to say if you're a man, then you have a predisposition to display masculine energy, and that if you're a woman, you have a predisposition to feminine energy. And by the way, I know I'm talking on masculine theory here, but I adore feminine energy. I don't want to live in a world where there isn't any feminine energy. The analogy I like to give all the time is if masculine energy is the frame of the picture, then feminine energy is the beautiful artwork in the centerpiece. If you have no masculine energy, you can't hold the picture. If you have no feminine energy, you just have an empty, cold frame. That's a cold world that I would not want to live in. And sadly, what's happening to our friend here is too much artwork, right? Too much feminine energy and not enough frame to actually hold that feminine energy in. A man that is too agreeable, who panders to public opinion without then sharing his own particular points of view, is not a masculine man. He has no frame. He has no backbone. He has no masculine energy. It's like a battery, right? If a battery has two negative poles, then there's no polarity. There's no pull. There's no attraction. There's no warping of space and time around those two forces. You can try and pander to the narrative that men and women are equal, but nature tells no lies. Waves have to have an ebb and they have to have a flow. Breath must have a inhalation, an exhalation to give life. Relationships must have a masculine and they must have a feminine to create attraction. Pretend all you want, by the way, guys. You can see it for yourself here. A woman pretending that this is what she wants in a man, for him, to be politically correct. And, once their values are aligned in that way, then they're going to have a happy, very attractive, very polarizing relationship. But pretend all you want. Nature will humble you like nothing else. Gentlemen, these are not theories, these are facts. Speak soon.